Peace, my brother.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, man. I'm, doing this little, documentary, man. Brother Phoenix,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. So we talking about my night story and riding around my old city where everything started from. That was a movie theater right there. Then they changed it to where they do concerts. And
I
they
thought
got,
you might have been here. I was trying to come get a cut.
yeah, man. We can do that tomorrow. They got
That's
Black
cool.
Lives Matter over here in Compton at this Madison thing, right?
Oh, yeah?
Shoot, I remember back in the day, shoot, they ain't like Negroes coming on the street. I used to call it Ku Klux Klan Boulevard. And
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
yeah, when you come from the east side to the west side, you had to cross 1, 2, 3 streets. Next street over is where my house at. And I used to walk those train tracks when they was open. And
Okay, well, what time is a good time tomorrow? Oh, I'll just hit you tomorrow.
Just have me do it like that, because I don't want to be Frankenstein at the mind right now when I ain't got my sources with
Right.
me.
Exactly. Okay, I'll hit you tomorrow then, B. I'll holler. Peace,
All right,
brother.
Okay, my brother. Peace. Let's go. June 1985 was a turning point in my life. Hip hop booming, Jordans come out booming, Nike like, oh man, what is going on? So I said, okay, what can I come up with in 85? Jordans came out in 84. What can I, this one I decided to be, I want to design shoes, to the point where I finally get in contact with them. They corresponded with me within 2 years. All of a sudden, the 2001 concept I give them becomes the Arab Revolution. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can't get compensated or acknowledged about what's done, and then you deny the process about it. The motivation continued after that, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We didn't do this. Yes, she did. Look, pay me, give me something. How about this amount? They correspond. Will you ask for a large sum of money? Unfortunately, we can't pay it due to what we talked about. Have your attorney contact us. I always say, if you didn't do anything, why even admit it? Why even deal with the process? You know what I'm saying? So the guilt is, as an urban black kid who contribute to your company, help the shoe game go to a whole nother level. Jordan had that type of customized, but this type of customized, we talking about stabilizer, airboat, the whole 9 yards. To this day, changed the entire shoe game. And it started right here in Cody, Kentucky. Come on. Too bad dreams, man. Come on, we outside. Yeah. This our favorite spot right there. I remember my uncle asked my mom went to Haiti in his back room, right? I came to visit. He thought I was asleep. He said, how you doing? He said, how's this Nike case going? He said, at that time, she's like, see, he writing, writing. They write, they've been writing. She said, who's his lawyer? She said, he don't have one. He said, man, allergies. She's like, how's they, I had to get them to write him. She was like, I don't know. But they write him back.
But when he was in high school, he drew a gym shoe. He didn't know, and then without knowledge, you didn't know that you needed a patent because we're 18 years old. So even though what give me though with all the proof, they still deny it. It's like it's not. See, I have a problem with people. You see what you see, but you don't recognize or respect it. See what I'm saying? So it's not about because he's a black young man. He was a young man that did a design and it wasn't recognized because white people get messed over too. We call it greed. And all he's asking is fair. Somebody from Nike, higher up, talk to him, face to face. You know, don't ignore him just like it never happened. It exists. Papers, they even wrote back to him. So just be fair. That's all we asking. Or he's asking. You know, just be fair with what I produced or created. So as a mother, I'm just speaking out for my son. And like I say, it's not racially motivated. It was just a talent that a kid had. And it's not recognized. So, if you put God first, he'll work it out now. You know, so that's all I'm asking him. Just be fair with my son, that's all.
Yeah, I see.
Hey, you're my second call. See these things? Whatever activity like now they like this. Back in the 80s, he developed this shoe. And he showed everybody. It was a nice shoe. I'm like, man, they never seen anything like this. And it was it had a bubble in it. I'm like, wow, that's gonna be, innovative. I said, I'm sure they're gonna take it. So, from what I understand, he submitted to Nike and they passed on it. And man, I don't know what became of it. But then when I started seeing that shoe, the same shoe that he had, I started seeing it around in, a couple of years later, and I'm like, wow. I didn't think about it, but then baby's like, man, that's my shoe. That's my shoe. I'm like, wow, man, it is your shoe. That's that shoe you showed me when you made way back in the day. So, what I'm here to say is like, look, man, this is 2020. This brother should have been hired on by you guys. You should have used his creativeness to even further your shoe manufacturing, because I'm telling you, he had some good, way back in the 80s, he had the design and he had it. What I'm saying is, this brother, it was a waste. That I believe that it was corporate bullying. I think, the little man, they just took his design and they didn't give him anything. So what I'm saying is, I hope this reaches Phil Knight, because I know he's not on this. I know he's not going to be a part of this. Just take somebody's design and mark it as your own. That's plagiarism. So what I'm asking you, Nike, stick to your word. Just do it. Go to this brother and just pay him what he's deserved. Bring him on as a consultant. Do something. As your motto says, just do it.
My name is Ramon Humphrey, and I've known Basil Lewis to be an upstanding and outstanding young man. I grew up with him. I've known his family. My father and his father were best friends coming up. I'm sorry, my brother and his father were best friends coming up. And I was one of the original people that had a chance to see the design of the shoe before it was submitted. Very, very, very unique shoe, a lot of flavor to it. He is an outstanding artist, was the best artist in our neighborhood. He would always make different things. He would do murals, things like that. When this shoe was designed, we didn't know that, there was certain protocols for copyright and things of that nature. So I think he submitted this shoe. We didn't know. He thought he was just submitting it and saying, okay, hopefully I would have a chance to work for Nike or something like that. It was an outstanding design. Well, when that shoe dropped and it came out, it was almost the exact same shoe, all the way down to the air bubble, which is basically what he created. It was almost the exact same shoe. And we were dumbfounded how they said that they weren't going to use his idea, and he had some correspondences with them where they had basically said, we didn't use your design, but they did. I mean, it was flat out obvious that that was the shoe. And a lot of us were puzzled and did a lot of research of how things, with the African Americans have submitted all kinds of things, and their ideas were used and plagiarized and taken, and not without compensation. And this is a situation where this design was almost 30 years ago, and they have made billions off of this design, the air bubble. Nobody had it. He invented that. He is due compensation because they thrived and made money off of his direct design. And it's outstandingly insane that they won't just compensate him for something and realize and give the due to this man. Because he is currently a barber, and he is very artistic. I mean, he is just being dogged flat out. Nike has made a lot of money off of this man's design, and they need to pay him something. I don't think he's asking for the world. I don't think he wants nowhere near the billion they put together. He's a fair man, but this is an unfair practice of a man that has just made them millions of dollars.
Right. Yeah, basically in 1985, this building behind us was the place that the Nike air bubble was made. Basil Lewis, he came up with a sketch to pretty much come up and designed it. So this building behind us was a historical place because this is where it was made at.
Absolutely. But if you look at the article, Nike said that the shoe had an overall similarity, but how can you say it's a similarity and yet it looked more like a ski boot than a basketball shoe? The sad thing about this is corporations do this all the time. They take from people who have these ideas and they don't want to give money back, and instead they want to profit everything for themselves, which is wrong. In this article, it states that Nike did not even follow the confidentiality agreement. They were supposed to be doing a non-confidentiality agreement with Basil for admitting his ideas. But yet, what they said they would keep his ideas on file. That is not the way you do business. Everyone in the business world knows that what happened is wrong, and Nike needs to pay what's due to Basil. And unfortunately, we have a lot of companies like this that have greed, and instead of paying people for their ideas, and as much as that shoe sold, to see that Basil did this and there's nothing coming to him, Nike should truly be ashamed of themselves. And I hope they make things right.
It's Michelle Winker. I am an attorney licensed here in Ohio. I did my undergraduate study at Vanderbilt University, which is located in Nashville, Tennessee. And I went to law school at the University of Dayton. Go Flyers. I think he's got a good case. He trusted somebody, and no offense, they ran all over you with your shoes. Like that. He was 17 when he went to Nike and said, I have this idea for a shoe. And he didn't know about copyright, about patents, nothing. And he couldn't afford an attorney. So what he did is that he trusted a company. He thought that they were a good people. They weren't. They've already indicated to him by letters and correspondence that they have no intention of dealing with him or fair dealing with him until he takes this to court. We don't need to lie. We just need Nike to stand up and be honest. And they still are working off of his design. What Nike did is they played, oh, this person doesn't work here anymore. Oh, these people don't work here anymore. They think that by firing these people or letting these people go, that's not the case. And there are ways which we can ask them questions and they have to answer. They told him that the first thing we need to do is to get an attorney that does federal law. Publicity that they, or negative publicity that they may get if they don't enter into fair and equitable negotiations. We want the person that is responsible for negotiations. The bottom line is that there are young people out there, and this is a precautionary tale. That it doesn't matter if you're 17 or 7. If you've got an idea and you're going with it, get an attorney that will work with you. And don't give me this, oh, they're all so expensive. There are attorneys that will work with you.
Oh man, come on. Is this on camera? In the summer 1985, my senior in high school, I designed a sketch, which I sent to Nike called 2001. In the first letter, Nike responded saying they was enthused with my idea, but they couldn't use it at the moment, but they would keep it on file. In the second letter, Nike responded again, saying how pleased he was with the idea and that they couldn't use it at the moment, but they still acknowledged keeping it on file. In 1987, that's when Nike came out with the concept and design of Air Revolution, which featured a lot of my concepts and designs that I sent them. And seeing it for the first time, I was like, this shoe is dope. But the more I kept looking at it, I started recognizing something, and that's when I seen my creativity and ideas that I sent them compiled in that shoe concept. Since that day, Nike has denied any involvement of using any of my concepts or creation in the Nike Air Revolution. Nike admitted that they did not follow standard procedure or confidentiality with my concepts. I was just an 18-year-old kid at the time with no knowledge of patents, copyrights, or trademarks. I feel like Nike took advantage of me as a kid and then capitalized off the idea that I sent them. If Nike felt like they didn't do anything wrong, why would they correspond with me between 1985 and 2012? To this day, Nike refuses to acknowledge my concept. If Nike acknowledged my concept, I would be due to compensation. Nike knows to this day they used the concept for my 2001 for the Air Revolution. Nike may not acknowledge my concept and ideas for that revolution, but I had the proof and I had the story. I have the evidence, and I'm Basil Lewis. This is my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Next thing I didn't know, I said, damn, somebody want just like you. And I was looking for you. My man said, no. And I said, man, somebody got the same damn just like you, because you had that before anything. We had that and this and other. I was like, wait a minute, this is the same damn thing. They done did something.
So they took it from that revolution concept.
Yeah, all that. When you had this, the old ones, you got all kinds of shit. And now, when you look with the other one, you're like, dang, wait a minute, that's your shit. I mean, just how it is.